What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick,
I'm Jeff Grindstoffer.
and welcome to episode number 103 of Vinyl Bang. Today's guest is a longtime friend, 20 years or so of
20
knowing
years.
this gentleman.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, this person and I and Jeff all met in the same exact place, the Lamb of God message board. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Jon Hickman.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to be on the show with us. Like Jeff and I have been talking about this for a while. We don't have any. We've never had a guest from the Lamb board, and
Right.
yeah,
Like you said, I'm your first, so that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
definitely, man. Hell yeah, man. I think the last time I saw you might have been at the Black Cat in DC, and we were taking shots, and I can't remember which show that was, but it's been a minute. So it's good to see your face again, sir. We're happy to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk vinyl.
Okay, let's do it. So thank you again for the invite. Needless to say, when I was speaking with you, Nick, about like what to do, you said just pick 15 or 20. I'm like, I don't know what to say. But then as I was preparing for this show, I was thinking back to a conversation I had in like 2017 or so. It was one of the rare times I was on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. And I was just about to log off, and this message popped up. It's from a friend from college. And she goes, hey, I see you like Suffocation. And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, that's cool. Like, my little cousin Charlie is the new guitar player in that band. It's like, okay. And then she goes, about 15 seconds later, she goes, why do you like this? I was like, there it is. Like, that train is always on time. It's never late. Because, I mean, look, I get it. Like, most people don't see me as a guy who listens to metal or anything, not, I guess, pop related or whatever. So that had me thinking, like, okay, that could be my angle for this show. Sort of my villain origin story and why I like the stuff that I do. So without further ado, let me jump into the very beginning. And when I say very beginning, I mean very beginning. I was literally 2 years and 2 days old when I was watching a Halloween special with my parents. It's the Paul Lynde Halloween special. It was October 29th, 1976, showing my age a little bit here. But I remember watching it. Nothing great was happening until this band came on. And I remember my little 2-year-old mind was just like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I remember being so upset that when it went off, I couldn't see more. And that band is Kiss.
Nice.
And they played Detroit Rock City. And again, it was like the Gene Simmons doing his thing, Paul Stanley doing his thing, and the fire, flames, all the stuff going off. I was hooked from then on. So that was the very first band I saw that I can remember. Like I said, I still remember it to this day. And it really touched me then. So had to get this one. Really great album.
So real quick, this was they were in the background of Halloween 3?
No, it was a Halloween special. It was so the thing was it was like their first nationally televised appearance. Okay. There was a comedic actor named Paul Lynde. He's not a great actor, to be honest, but they gave him his own Halloween special, and they had a bunch of guest stars and people coming on. And I guess the musical act that day was Kiss.
Oh yeah!
I just remember like going, "Oh my God, that's so cool," and like being so upset that like I couldn't see more of it. I was like, I remember crying. My parents were just like, "Sorry, we can't do anything."
The internet hasn't been invented yet. You can't have instant gratuity. I just have
exactly
your favorite talents.
Right. And it's like with my 2-year-old, I guess, vocabulary, I'm just like pointing, crying, like, come on. And so I don't even think VCRs were out at that point. So I couldn't have seen them if I wanted to. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's the first band I remember seeing. Going through time, I remember they played a lot of disco, like the was it the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack was big in my house. Couple other bands, like I won't bore you guys with that stuff. But jumpstart to the 80s, MTV came out. And I remember being so enthralled with MTV. Like I watched it constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Not a day went by where I didn't watch hours of it. And so a couple groups that I remember liking back then and had to get their vinyl when I was able to buy my own stuff. First one is Huey Lewis and the News.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Sports. So it's got, Heart of Rock and Roll on it. I Want a New Drug. All the hits.
Oh, yeah. So. Definitely a album full of hits for sure.
Solid album for sure.
Also around that time, this bad boy came out.
Nice.
Tears for Fears. I have an OG copy of this, but this was the most recent release. I guess they released it or re-released it just last year, actually. I think December.
Yeah.
We got this. So it's the Coke bottle clear version. I'll show you real quick. So that's it there.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
So
great album, man. Head Over Heels is such a phenomenal song.
Right? It's just it's unbelievable. I was listening to a lot of that stuff, the pop stuff, but like that original, like the Kiss thing, just I couldn't escape that rock and roll. So around that time, this came out.
Oh yes.
And this is the first vinyl I purchased in my collection. So
look at Tawny Katan on that cover, man. Jeez, that's before David Coverdale got his claws on there.
So I mean, you're talking about what song is around here? Round and Round, of course.
You're in Love.
Song is a Lack of Communication, though. That's my favorite track on this one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one, but this is a masterpiece right here.
Yeah, Warren DeMartini, one of the most underrated guitarists of all time.
Yes, sir. Let's see. That was 80s, I believe. My grandmother lived in Houston at that time. So I'd come down and visit her pretty often. And one day, we had nothing to do. She was in her bedroom doing something. And to keep me busy, she sat me in front of the TV and put this videotape in and push play. Probably not the best option of things to see, because she showed me this is the soundtrack to it and also a great record. So I was like 6 maybe years old. I'm like watching like sex and drugs. I'm like, probably not what I should be watching, but I can't look away.
So. I'm not gonna lie. I have an older sister, and when that movie came out, and it was a big fucking deal. I think she either rented it all the time or owned a copy. But I was just probably a baby watching that movie and just being like, "What the fuck?"
So neither one of us are kids. Yeah,
it corrupted my mind for sure.
So got that bad boy. Also around that time, I started skateboarding. Really becoming a huge skater. That sort of, I went from MTV to let me start skating and doing things like that. Actually, the first cassette tape I purchased with my own little, the money I got from my chores. It's this bad boy right here.
Dude, I almost have the exact same story. I almost
really
have the exact same. But please go ahead and talk about that. I am jealous you own that on vinyl. I am jealous that you own that. I would love to have a copy of that on vinyl. But yeah.
Yes, sir. Very first one, I was like, ooh, hooked onto this. But I'm surprised we're still going, to be honest.
No, the song "Possessed to Skate" on that album was what drew me to it, because okay, I was born in '79, so you and I are not that far off.
Right.
But on that note, I'm not the old guy in the room, and I'm so happy. It's 'cause I'm the oldest guy. So thank you again for that, because thank you again for that. No, I was also, went from watching or listening to like Huey Lewis and blah 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 and all this, and then becoming a skater like as when I was like 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever it was. But the very first cassette, one of the very first cassettes, because I think the very first one I ever had was DRI's self-titled ROTC 001. But
Right.
Possessed to Skate was the song that drew me to that album, and it was the group of older guys that I was skating with. But yeah, Join the Army, dude. Man, that's awesome, dude. That's so rad.
I had to get.
No, I think this is the second time that this has been brought up on the show. That was like the main reason why Jeff started skating, because Possessed to Skate. Like,
oh wow,
that's really great. I love that when stuff like this happens multiple times on our show, because that just goes to show you how influential that band was on us. So.
Very, very true.
I mean, especially in the '80s and the late '80s, early '90s, and just I mean the culture back then. Like say everything wasn't at your fingertips. You couldn't just listen to watch whatever you want. But to have before the internet, people were skateboarding and doing stuff outside, where you weren't sitting in front of YouTube or in front of a computer or whatever, but just that time frame.
Right.
Man, that's nostalgic, dude. I wish I could go back to the good old days. Back then to the good old, because we just didn't know how good we had it back then.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Oh, man, I want to find a copy of that on vinyl so bad now, dude. I want Join the Army so bad now. That's awesome.
It's a great spin.
It is. It's an awesome album.
Yeah. So also around that time, so it's like Suicide was sort of my gateway into it. But the band and probably the record that I listened to the most at that time, because I sort of went the punk route, was G.b.h. City Baby's Revenge.
Oh yeah.
I actually saw these guys. If you want to see, like, Matt's charged to the T. They actually came. They're still touring, and let's look at the orange right there.
Nice.
They actually came through Austin. Speaking to Nick about going to shows, they came through Austin back in October, I want to say. Because I was like, these guys are like, I mean, this record came out when I was 11, 12. And again, like I'm not young anymore. So it's like, they're not going to be touring much longer. I got to go see them. However, seeing them live, it's like they've got another couple years on them. They're quite lively, quite good as a band. So
awesome.
So let me think. Around that time, it was a lot of punk, a lot of, like G.b.h, Suicidal. That's also when I first heard Metallica, Megadeth, all those bands like that. Another group I would listen to a lot of would be Cro-Mags. Best Wishes. Nice. Spun this one a lot. A lot of these are just plain black vinyl, so I'm not going to worry about pulling them out, since we all know what that looks like. Courage of Conformity, Technocracy. Nice. This is before they turned like more metal.
I was going to say the early stuff was more punk. Yeah,
exactly. More crossover punk stuff.
I love that album, Animosity. It's got such a fucking vibe to it, and man, like you said, like I think now they're a little bit on. I don't want to say southern, but like I don't know how to describe what their sound is now, but it's not what it used to be, and they were very, very punk back in the day.
Right. It's weird because I remember like watching Headbangers Ball, and they were like new COC video coming out. I was like, oh sweet. And then I forget what song it was that the video came out. I was just like, this is not COC.
That's not.
This is not what I remember.
When Pepper joined the band, I think the writing went in like this whole new direction, which again, like they got a lot of notoriety. Metallica took them out on the Load tour, and they just good for them because they deserve it. They paid their dues for many, many years.
Very true.
So,
God, I'm trying to think of their song. What was their song? Vote with a Bullet?
Might have been.
I'm sorry. I'm racking my brain now because I remember watching Corrosion of Conformity, a video, the video that introduced me to Corrosion of Conformity, but I can't remember the name of the song. I'm going to have to look it up. It's going to drive me nuts, but I almost think it's Vote with a Bullet. I almost think I'm right. Anyway, sorry.
That's all good. So around that time, it was like a lot of punk. But there was one group that was like amongst my skater friends were like, they're pop, but they're okay. They're acceptable. They pass. And that's U2. So funny story about U2. I'll do a little segues here and there. But around the time of the Lamb of God board, I used to work at a pretty popular nightclub in DC. Tons of celebrities would come through. Pretty cool place. But one night when I wasn't working, they said this gentleman walked to the door and wanted to come in. Well, our policy at that time was you got to show your ID. Like, we don't care who you are, show your ID. Unless it's a celebrity, obviously we know. Okay, fine. But I wasn't working. My girlfriend at the time was. She was sort of watching the door. And the other bouncer is this big, like 6'4", 300-pound guy. He was playing college football. So, I mean, perfect for a bouncer. So this guy came to the door, wanted to come in. And she was like, well, we need to see your ID. The guy was like, seriously? She's like, yeah, I mean, it's our policy. You got to show your ID. So he's like, I don't have it on me. Can you just let me in? She was like, no, I'm sorry. We got to see your ID. So then the bouncer came up, the big guy, kind of looks him up and down and is like, yeah, we need to see your ID. The guy just got so frustrated, he turned around and walked away. Turns out, the guy that turned away was Bono.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, how do you not know who Bono is? She's like, I just thought he was some aging wannabe rock star. I was like, you got two of those right, I guess.
But, I can say this. I am not a fan, but I even know what their drummer looks like.
There you go.
So
yeah,
that's crazy. That's a crazy story. But also at the same time, I could see him being like, an ID. Do you know who I'm surprised he didn't ask them, do you know who I am?
Right. He didn't go that far, I don't think. But yeah, he just sort of huffed around and turned around and walked away.
That's amazing, dude.
That's pretty funny. Crazy, but pretty funny. So.
Yeah. So all right, jumping into, I guess, high school era. Well, I think those were a little bit of beginning of high school. Sort of mid-high school, I guess you could say. So I have an older sister. She loves pop music. I wasn't a fan of it back then. But the guy she was dating wanted to take her out to a date. He wanted to take her to a show. And my parents are like, yeah, you can go, just take your brother. I'm like, I don't want to go to this. Like, why am I getting roped into this? But the artist we went to go see was Mr. George Michael.
Oh, nice.
The Faith Tour. And honestly, I was like huffing and puffing going there. We sat down, and I remember, I think this is part of one of his videos, but there was like this animatronic or like electronic movement of like a woman's ass. And I'm like, George, I didn't recognize the game. Okay. I think I'm more like it. So good show.
I have to ask, did he play any Wham songs?
He did not. It was all of this. Like, this was a debut solo record. So you only played. But I was like, okay, George, my man.
Nice. Well, that's awesome.
So that was my very first live show I went to. Second one I got to go to, I had to, like, I guess, how should I put this? Right that wrong of going to George Michael first. First show that I went to that I wanted to go to was the Painkiller Tour. So it was Judas Priest, of course, headlined. Testament opened, and then
Nice.
scored on this record. And I just remember they opened with "Wake Up Dead," and I was floored. Such a good show.
Oh wow, nice blue vinyl.
Yeah. So
that is sharp. Man, to see Megadeth back in them days, man, because they were on that tour. They were touring on that album.
They were.
Man,
it was like
I am jealous. Wow.
I just remember going to that and like not being able to sleep that night because I was so amped. So
yeah, the Friedman Nick Menza era, man. That's jeez, that's rad. That's rad for sure.
So unbelievably good. So okay. So I went to that show with a couple friends of mine, three of my best friends at that time, and good time. But like people in school didn't really know what I listened to or like where I was. And again, being a skater, I know this is a vinyl show, but I got a couple T-shirts. And I'm not a hoarder. Just want to put that out there. But I have saved some things.
Are you convincing yourself or us?
I mean, if you see my place, it's like, okay, it's pretty clean. But there are some little knickknacks I've kept from high school. One of which is an OG Puffhead T-shirt.
Oh wow,
nice.
So these are the shirts I used to, especially this one. God, I wore it. I mean, you can see I wore it out when I was a kid. But it was weird, like walking through the hallway, you could see people going, oh, okay. Like he likes that kind of music. And that's when the whole tape trading thing started happening with my people in high school. Like random people would come up to me. Hey, have you heard of Creator? I'm like, no. Boom, there you go. Have you heard of Nuclear Assault? No. Here you go. I just do remember one day, this guy came up to me. He was like, hey, you ever heard of Sepultura? I was like, mm-mm. So he's like, check this out. And he gave me, it was Beneath the Remains. Now, I just remember putting that in and being absolutely blown away. Like, this is my stuff. So much so, I got the box set.
Oh wow!
Albums.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, but those were those days of the tape trading with me and my friends in high school. Oh yeah, like here's a Nuclear Assault, Hannibal Care. Another favorite was Forbidden, Twisted into Form.
Holy shit.
So that was high school. Weird thing though, I was in high school band and playing saxophone. And I remember this kid next to me, the chair next to me, was listening to a lot of hip hop. I was kind of like, I was firmly in the rap as crap crowd back then. But then one day I was just like, let me borrow that tape. And it was MC Hammer's first tape.
With Turn This Mother Out?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Was that Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him?
That was the second one.
That was the second one. Okay.
Yeah. My sister had the one.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying my sister has the one you're talking about.
Okay.
When we were kids.
There you go. I remember taking that home, popping it in, and just sitting there and listening to it. I'm like, this actually isn't that bad. I remember my other friends who are mostly into metal and punk were just like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just broadening my horizons. Like, I might actually like it. And it turns out I did. So I do remember, I didn't really want Hammer. Because I was like, that's a little too soft for me. Coming from, I guess, punk and metal, it's like, that's a little too soft. I want something a little more hard hitting.
Right.
So the first, by then I was buying CDs. The first CD I bought, hip hop, was Public Enemy's.
Oh, yes.
Fear of Black Planet.
Right on.
Quick little segue story about that. in 20, I want to say 20, he's going to kill me if he sees this, 2015 or 2016, good friend of mine got married. And let's be honest, like weddings are for the women. They're not for men. If you're going to buy a dress that's $4,000 and a dude's like, I'll just rent a tux, it's for a woman. But to his wife, he was like, you take care of everything else, fine. Just let me handle the music. Let me handle getting the DJ. So she's like, all right, fine, do it. So I know he went looking for like, there's some little service you can look at to find DJs, wedding DJs, I guess, or just DJs in general. So like he's going, but this is my wedding. I'm going big. So he contacted this one guy in New York, who I won't mention his name, and quoted him a price. He was like, that's a little steep. Not only that, but he had like a full writer of stuff he wanted. The guy was like, dude, it's not a concert. It's my wedding.
All right.
So he was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. So he didn't hire him. So he saw this other DJ on that service. And so he goes, let me just hit him up real quick. Let me just see. So he starts talking to this guy. They're chit-chatting, going back and forth. And the guy was like, yeah, I will do your wedding. He's like, you're local for one. It's in North Carolina. He's like, you're local. I'll do it. You seem like a really cool guy. Let me go ahead and I'll do your wedding for you. And believe it or not, it was Terminator X.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That's wild.
So, I mean, and it's like, I'm sitting there like in his reception, like, get my groove on, dancing. And then it's like he puts on Fight the Power, which is the first hip hop song that really got me into like, I need to start buying some hip hop. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it sort of hit me. I'm like, that guy was in the studio with Chuck and Flav. He's on this record.
Right.
Like he's spinning his own shit. And it's a banger. I was like,
wow.
This is so freaking amazing. So of course I had him like, we had a wedding like program. I was like, can you sign this?
Can you sign the wedding? Oh, great.
Hey, man, I had nothing else along. I'm like, just sign something.
Hey, no, absolutely. I almost would have asked, like, can I have that vinyl? Like, can I buy that vinyl that you're spinning right now? Can you sign that for me, please?
I didn't think of that. Oh my God.
But hey, that's awesome. Oh, what is up with my camera? Jeez, this thing is ridiculous. Sorry about this, guys.
We're good. That is incredible. That is an amazing story. And just for the record, as a metalhead when I was younger, I remember the first time hearing Public Enemy and just being like, wow, this is like heavy hitting. And like you said, not to diss Hammer, but like compared to Public Enemy, he was very soft. But like, man, like I remember the first time hearing Public Enemy and just, nobody can deny Flavor Flav. He's such a great hype man. He just brings you in with his like just his wildness, his giant clocks and everything.
Exactly.
That I felt like that was a good gate. If you were a metalhead and you wanted to get into hip hop, Public Enemy was the perfect band for that bridge.
Very true.
For sure.
So, okay, so keeping with, I guess I figured out Public Enemy in the high school, I want to say. Next group, and again, I was like, hip hop. I love hip hop now. Like, give me more. This little record came out, Cypress Hill.
Ooh, the first one.
This is the repress of it. I can't remember when it came out, but it's really like a nice sort of like crimson swirl, if you can kind of see that in there a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, it's coming through very well.
Oh, yeah, okay. You see the light shining through the back of it. Yeah, but yeah, that's okay.
Story about this, well, sort of story, was I used to run track in high school. And my very last track meet, put on my full garb to go out there and run. And it was me and another guy on the team. He was like, man, I got that new Cypress Hill. Like, oh, okay. So he pushed play on it because it was a CD. So he pushed play on his little boombox. And we didn't move. We actually missed our track meet. We were sitting in this little hall just like, oh my God, this is so good. And needless to say, our coach was not happy. Sorry, Coach.
Now the irony of that. Okay. So there's an ongoing joke between Nick and I about listening to Cypress Hill because of the whole the whole aesthetic of Cypress Hill being pro marijuana. This, but the fact that you missed. Because you were listening to Cypress Hill.
That's great. That's really
awesome.
funny, actually.
That's well played. You all called each other before this episode, didn't you? You planned that, strategically planned that.
No, but that is pretty funny, Jeff.
Seems like we could have. All right. So again, I believe this is high school. Not sure though. Might have been first year of college, maybe. Again, it was all about the hip hop at that point. I mean, I did listen to some metal, but it's like, as we mentioned before, pre-internet, pre all this other stuff, I didn't know what was coming out when things were dropping. So it's kind of like whatever my friends and classmates were bringing to me. That's sort of what I gravitated towards. One such record is this Nas, Stillmatic. So
hell yeah, dude!
It is an absolute classic.
Solid album for sure.
Also around that same time is this bad boy. Notorious B.i.g.
Again, yes.
And this is actually the first Vinyl Me Please pressing I got.
Oh, hell yeah.
In fact, when I saw this on their website, I was like, I'll join. I don't care. Sure, I need that record. It's a nice little splatter here.
I am guilty of doing that a couple times. They repressed the first DMX album. They repressed Check Your Head.
Right.
And I can't remember the other ones, but I signed up just to get those records and then canceled my subscription.
Exactly. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Sort of related, but sort of nowish, so I'm jumping a little bit ahead. There is a producer, DJ named Amerigo Gazaway. He does a bunch of mashups. And this one is an actual amazing mashup of James Brown with B.i.g.
Wow.
He calls the Notorious G.b.'s the big B.i.g. payback. So if you can imagine James Brown's music, but Biggie rapping on it. So it's a pretty good one.
Huh.
Those are very intriguing albums. I have one from an Australian DJ named DJ Bacon, and he put out something called Beastie Floyd. It's Pink Floyd music with Beastie Boys rapping over it, and then occasionally Pink Floyd or Beastie Boys music with Pink Floyd singing over it.
Oh, it's
really great mix. Yeah, look into it. It's on Bandcamp.
Okay. What was the name of it again? I'm sorry.
Beastie Floyd is what it was called.
Okay.
And the artist was DJ Bacon.
Okay. Definitely look for that one. Again, college time. I know this is definitely college. My favorite band back then was a band called DOS FX. More hip hop, of course. Thing I remember most about this and them, it's not really music related because they actually came to my college to perform. And I was front and center for that show. And I remember them standing on stage. Now, granted, the stage wasn't that tall. I remember, like, they were on stage. I was obviously not on stage. I was like, we're the same height. How is that possible that you're standing on stage? Anyway. Let's see. So post-college, I got into, let's see here. I think around, okay, let me just jump to Lamb of God Board Time. Actually, 9/11 happened, I think, right around the time I joined that board. Which is crazy because I remember feeling the blast at the Pentagon. And what a hectic day. I remember sitting there, not being able to do anything because they closed down the metro in DC, closed down traffic into and out of DC. and basically told us to go home. I'm like, how? If you're not letting traffic in and out and the metro's closed, I'm stranded. So I do remember they finally let traffic in the metro go again. So I remember getting on the train, going all the way down to my car, getting in my car, driving home. And it was at that point, which I don't even know if I should confess this, but here goes. My plan that day was to buy 2 CDs. And I was not going to be deterred. One was Jay-Z's Blueprint, the first one. And then the second one that I just had to get.
Nice.
That's what I was waiting on, to see if it was System of a Down or Slayer. That's what I was waiting on, to see which album it was.
Right. So I was like, I mean, I'll just go grab it real quick and then I'll mourn at home or whatever. So this I think is a European pressing, so it's the red one.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
The 2 albums I remember the most that came out that day was God Hates Us All and Mariah Carey's Butterfly.
That came out then too?
I think it was Butterfly or the one with the rainbow on it. I don't remember what it was called, but they both came out that day.
Okay.
And there was a joke that came out. I was like, I don't want to know it was a bigger tragedy, 9/11 or the new Mariah Carey album. I was like, oh man. Thank God nobody knew about the new Slayer put out an album that day.
Right. Oh, I did.
The 2 I remember, of course, were Toxicity and God Hates Us All, and I bought them all that morning.
Did you?
Toxicity was a few weeks before.
Was it?
Because I remember, because Iowa came out, then Toxicity, then God Hates Us All. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I know you're a perfectionist, Jeff. Look it up.
Oh, I am. Oh, I will. Whenever it goes back to John, I'm gonna look it up. But I distinctly remember buying both of them the morning of, and it could have already been out. But I do distinctly remember buying God Hates Us All and Toxicity the morning of 9/11. And then whenever I went into the store, by the time I went in and made the purchase to come out, and all the stoplights in town were shut off and the traffic was just chaos. And and then I drove the half hour home and then learned about, the planes heading it was. So anyway. Sorry.
That was a insane day.
It was. It really was.
So let's see here. Now I'm just sort of getting into random stuff I listen to. Hold on. I think again that was Lamb of God board time. I think I started recycling old stuff. But then this record came out. Wasn't the greatest, but I still liked it anyway.
Yes, dude, I fucking love that soundtrack. Absolutely love that soundtrack.
Yeah, I had to get this one. So now it's sort of a hodgepodge, but my dad is a big jazz head. In fact, he's got a pretty nice record collection, which I should raid sometime, but let's see if I hear about that. But this is the one he turned me on.
Hell yeah.
Davis. So if you ever want to get into jazz, this is the record, the gateway record to go with. Let's see. Obviously, I live in Austin, well, Texas now. I moved out of Austin. But I have to give a shout out to an Austin band. And these guys actually still play, which is kind of amazing. But
wow.
Yeah, this is a fun record. Again, like I said, they still play. Like, I'm surprised. I went to some show and I saw on the marquee, it was like Dangerous Toys. I'm like, the same band from back then? And yeah, sure enough, they're still playing. So they're fun live.
No, one minute on that one. That album cover looks familiar. I am not familiar with this. Tell me about Dangerous Toys, because we're kind of ripping through this episode. I want to talk a little bit. Tell me about this band.
They're a glam band.
They're sort of I mean, they were kind of lumped in the hair metal band category, but I never really considered them to be hair metal for some reason. They seem to be a little harder, heavier, faster than most hair metal. Okay. And then I think the thing that really kind of got me interested was one of their band members here has a Death t-shirt on. So seeing that, I was like, okay, these guys might be different, might be decent.
So they were like crossover glam. So they were a different subgenre of glam metal.
Correct. Yeah. Good way to put it. But it's a good listen.
Like I said, I recognize the art, and just I've never taken the initiative. I guess I missed that train. I guess just never listened to the band, and I was like, hey, I want to know about this. So
yeah, they were big on MTV as well. Trying to think, Teasin' Pleasin' might be their most popular song on this record. Scared was probably my favorite. Apparently, that was a song written about Alice Cooper.
They definitely played Jack's nightclub at some point.
Oh, no doubt.
When you walk through that front door and you see all those pictures of all the '80s bands that have played there, I remember seeing their photo on the wall.
Right, yeah. Like I said, it's a good record. Definitely check it out.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. We are kind of ripping through this one, aren't we?
That's all right.
Being from Virginia, I've got to get a shout out to a Virginia band or Virginia group. Really love these dudes. I'm glad they came out with a new record. That is Clips.
Oh.
Hip hop. Pusha T and I forget the other guy's name. His brother. But really good record. I think their most popular song back in the day was probably Grindin'. And Pharrell was the producer on that one. So
good also stuff. From Virginia.
Yeah.
He played the saxophone on Rump Shaker.
Was that him?
That was him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Dude, I was going to say, question it if you want, but and as much as I hate admitting, Nick's usually right. He was right about toxicity, came out a week before. Shut up, stop it. But he's like my little encyclopedia. He knows his shit. So Pharrell played saxophone on Rump Shaker, I guess.
That is a weird fact that I learned. I don't remember where I learned it, but I've seen. You know who Nardwuar is?
Yeah.
See, he interviews people and he like hits them with these facts that nobody should know. Okay. And he handed him a copy of Rex and Effects, and he's just like, how the hell does this guy know this? So yeah, like that's now it's out there for the world to know. But yeah, Pharrell's awesome. I have no problem with him. He's a great producer.
That is. But yeah, I had no idea that was him though. That's crazy.
The way that I know Pharrell is because of his work with Mike Patton. I got to do it. I got to mention Mike Patton in this fucking episode.
There we go.
The show's not over yet. We don't know what else Jon has to show off.
Got him. Got him.
Over there, but you know. Let's see. I also do dig some R&B. That sort of came later in life, though. I think. You know, sometimes it's just like I don't want to listen to like metal all the time or jazz or whatever. And as I've sort of mentioned, my music taste is very bipolar, maybe schizophrenic. I'm not sure how you describe it. But this gentleman here put out probably my favorite R&B record of the last probably 10 years. This is by Jameson. It's called Heal Me is the name of this record. And if anyone out there is interested in getting into R&B, this is the one to get. Especially the song title named Love to You. It is 8 minutes long, but it is 3 minutes of vocals and 5 minutes of guitar solo. So It's very rock oriented. It's really good though.
Jameson.
Yeah. Let's see. So, as a shout out to Well, oftentimes when we lose an artist, someone I admire, I just put their records on. I spin them like crazy. One such artist we lost last year is D'Angelo.
Rest in peace.
Sir.
Hell yeah.
Love this record. Even has like Method Man and Redman on it. Really good record.
That album just got a proper repress recently.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
I have to get it.
For sure.
And then I never did see, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, Tomas Lindberg. Like I never did see At the Gates live. But I did, however, see this band live.
Ooh, Dysphere.
Yeah.
Nice.
That I personally think that band was better than At the Gates.
You know, I do too.
I've seen them twice, and they fucking blew me away both times. And just standing in front of him, you can hear him screaming without like hearing it through the speakers. I was like, holy shit, this guy rules.
Right. So I think I saw them at the Rock and Roll Hotel in DC. Yeah. And like you said, I was blown away by that show. But pretty nice little splatter vinyl.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, very nice.
Give you guys one random. So I'm not really a huge black metal fan. I just, it's okay, but it doesn't really do much for me. But I was intrigued by this one. It was a Bandcamp recommendation. I was like, the album cover is kind of different. Let me check this one out. And it's actually not bad. It's a one-man black metal band. Excuse me, I say that in quotes. One-man black metal band from China, but the lyrics are in Greek. And that's a band named Hoplites.
Hoplites.
Yeah. It's kind of spastic. It's like mixture of black metal and sort of like math metal. Like it gives you some like Dillinger Escape Plan vibes, but with black metal aesthetic, I guess.
So it's poorly recorded math metal.
You said it.
hey, no offense, no offense to our to our audience that listens to black metal, but I'm in the same boat you are. Just like it's not my thing.
Right.
Never really has been. It here and there is okay, but like I don't own any Burzum. I don't own any,
yeah,
it's not my thing. But.
It's real. In fact, I think it was last week I watched a documentary on YouTube on like some black metal. It's just like, no, like I'm sitting there trying to go through it and like I don't like any of this.
If there is a gatekeeper genre in metal, it's definitely black metal.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So no that's doubt. The most negative thing I have to say about that genre. But there are bands, they're few and far between that I do enjoy, and I got a friend that will throw me a recommendation every now and then, and stuff like that he probably knows about. But like, it's got to be unique. It's got to stand out from everything else in order for me to like it. But believe it or not, nowadays they're not recording it on an answering machine like the old school black metal. So it does sound better.
Shout out Lindsay Jr. And that's exactly where I was going with the poorly recorded, because I mean that's just not to pigeonhole black metal, but I mean that's how I've always perceived it. Just like it was recorded in the middle of a room with a 4-track. Like it just
right. Yeah. Well, I guess that's the aesthetic of black metal, like what they're going for. I'm like,
when people tell you it's so atmospheric. That's the excuse I get from a lot of people. I was like, well, they're just poor and they couldn't afford a good producer. I mean,
right.
I'm talking
I guess the last one I have really, I'm doing a lot of hip hop in this thing. It's actually a single, and it's Eazy-E, the Boys in the Hood.
Whoa, nice, dude! Oh my god! Yeah, what a way to close the episode, man. That's rad.
Holy crap!
So, this is a great one to spin. So yeah, it's good old Eazy. Rest in peace.
So, like, is that just a single on both sides, or like, is there something on?
So it's the Boys in the Hood on the first side, and Eazy-E and Rendezvous. LA is the place. I always don't that one that much.
So like an authentic B-side then, because I've never heard of that track, but that's rad.
Yeah. So
one thing that I've learned over the years from collecting vinyl is, especially when I was trying to go back and track down a lot of the old school hip hop albums, was most hip hop records in the 90s, especially in the 90s, were made specifically for DJs. And so they came in like those sleeves, like what you got there, and they were just, passed out to like radio DJs, club DJs, whatever. Now that we're like 30 some years later, they're all getting proper represses. I always shout out Get On Down Records because they've pressed some classics.
Right.
And there's just, it's good to see that you have an OG copy of that, because that's fucking awesome. Like, me and Jeff are huge Eazy-E fans. We've talked about him several times on the show, and to see like an OG copy like that, it's fucking very impressive.
Yeah, that's rad. That's absolutely perfect way to close out that episode, dude. That's
Thank
perfect.
You.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. And to go back to your comment earlier, a couple albums back, whenever you were like, you have a bipolar musical taste or anything, dude, don't be that way, dude. A fucking, diversity is key.
True.
I mean, because if you just listen to death metal all the time, it would be boring. If you just listen to Taylor Swift all the time, which I absolutely could do, it would be boring. You can't. I mean, I go everywhere from Creedence to Biohazard to Agoraphobic Nosebleed. It's all over the place. But I mean, the diversity is key, man. You gotta, an eclectic music taste is the key to life, I believe.
I agree with that.
I believe.
See, that's why I like you guys, because similar minds.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, in fact, I saw you guys in an episode you were mentioning Chapel Roan. I was like, oh, dude.
See,
right.
we had a guest on the show a year ago, Travis from Cattle Decapitation, and he brought up this great point that after a night of playing metal and performing with a bunch of metal bands, and they get in their van to travel to the next show, the last thing they want to do is listen to more metal. So they put on something completely opposite, because, like, come on, guys, like, I love it, but I don't need to be yelled at all 24 hours of my day. And like you said, having such a diverse taste, it does ease the mind up, and Jesus Christ, there's so much better shit out there than you think. Like, I love metal. It's in my name, but, like, believe me, like, I will listen to, when the first time I heard Chapel Roan, I was like, holy shit, this girl's got a great voice. I mean, Jeff's gonna testify here. He's been on his breaks out Taylor Swift any chance he can, and like, people may not expect that from a vinyl show that we mostly talk about hip hop, but like, or metal, but when we do break out the pop records, like, I feel good to see other people talk about it too, because it makes me realize, like, good, like, we're not all in this like tiny little corner just listening to this one angry style of music, like. So
yes, we also enjoy Sabrina Carpenter. Love Sabrina Carpenter, dude. I fucking love that girl. She is tremendous.
She is really good. I do enjoy her.
Really, really, really good.
She's one I haven't delved into yet, but I think I will.
Dude,
you might like
you should.
It, yeah,
you should. You absolutely should.
You'll be shocked. You'll be like, holy shit, is she talking about what I think she's talking about? Like, that's how her stuff is. She's really great.
Okay.
She's got a good voice. The music's really catchy too. So
it's very talented. Very talented.
Well, hell yeah. John, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. And Jeff, you got anything to add?
Dude, this was fun. I got to mention Mike Patton, and I looked up I looked up Join the Army, and there's dude, like, all of the pressings were all like 87 until 2015 or 18. They repressed music on vinyl, repressed it once.
Okay.
So it's like everything you find online is all 1987, whether it was from the UK or China or wherever. It was like 15 different pressings, and then they repressed it in 18. So yeah, here in a future episode, I'm gonna have a copy of Join the Army, and I'm excited.
Okay,
I'm excited to track this down on vinyl. So
when you show it, I'll be like, there it is.
Shout out, John.
Well, thank you, John, for joining us this week. Thank you again to everybody for watching. and we will see you all next week.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Final thing,